I believe that a lot of people are going through so many issues in this world. And I believe one of the biggest issues is that people are suffering from inferiority complex, or they don't like who they are. They're displeased with themselves for some reason or another. And because I went through that,
This is Sheila's Take, a podcast where you can hear my take on everything: love, hate, relationships, family, and today's issues with a godly perspective. I'm your host, Sheila Dunbar. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to Sheila's Take. And on this episode, I am delighted to welcome Drexwell Seymour as our special guest. Drexwell is not your average certified public accountant. Alongside his successful career as a managing partner of HLB TCI Ltd, he has found a profound passion for writing and motivational speaking. Drexwell's first book, Rise Up and Take Your Position, has garnered widespread acclaim for his powerful message of encouraging individuals to pursue and cultivate their calling. Through his writings, Drexwell aims to inspire others to rise above their limitations and reach their full potential. But in addition to being an accomplished author, Drexwell is also a producer who has ventured into the world of filmmaking. His short film, Rise Up, No One Is Better Than You, explores his personal battle with an inferiority complex due to his dark complexion. However, Drexwell's journey is one of empowerment and triumph as he overcame his insecurities and now seeks to inspire, influence, and encourage others to embrace their true worth. Join me as I welcome Drexwell Seymour's remarkable story, his creative process, and the insights he has gained along his journey. Prepare to be uplifted, motivated, and inspired by Drexwell on today's episode. Welcome, Drexwell. How are you?
I'm well, Sheila, and thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Well, you're very welcome. I'm just gonna, I don't usually say this, but when we were talking, I'm just gonna tell you, I'm a little jealous of where you are right now. I'm not gonna say, y'all, let me say, but I'm a little jealous of where you are right now. I'm a little cold. It's freezing where I am right now, but uh, no,
A plane away.
all right. I hear that. Um, but let's dive right in and can you tell us about the inspiration behind your short film, Rise Up, No One Is Better Than You? What motivated you to share your personal struggle?
You know, Thanks for the question. I believe that a lot of people are going through so many issues in this world. And I believe one of the biggest issues is that people are suffering from inferiority complex, or they don't like who they are. They're displeased with themselves for some reason or another. And because I went through that and I've overcame it, I believe that we should share our stories so that other people can realize that there's hope and that they don't have to remain in that position forever. And so I decided when I launched the book, I decided, you know what? It'd be nice if I could also do a film with it, because sometimes people don't like to read. So at
Yeah.
least if they have a short film, they can understand the background where I came from. It could inspire them, provide them with some sort of encouragement that themselves could also rise up and take their position. So that would inspire me, just trying to help others to overcome the situation that I went through, because I believe sometimes you cannot help people unless you go through what they go through. And so that's what I wanted to do.
How did you ultimately overcome this? The feeling of inferior. How did you overcome that? And how did it impact your life and your personal relationships?
It took me many, many years to overcome it. Perhaps more than 40 something years.
Mhm.
I am 53 now, and probably maybe 7 years ago, I overcame it. And it was just a wake up call. Because every day I used to think the worst of myself, despite my accomplishments, despite being a CPA, I think very little of myself. I was so programmed into believing that I was nobody. And so I overcame this through, I think, the persistent love of my family, particularly my wife,
Mhm.
and then the relationship that I became closer with God, and then it started to, dawn on me that, wait, Drexel, why are you going, why are you behaving the way you are? Nobody's better than you. Why? You're somebody. So that persistent comfort and encouragement from my wife, and my deep relationship with God finally opened a door for me to overcome inferiority complex.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that, and we see it a lot in our, I want to say our young people, but it's funny how you just said it took you almost 40 some odd years to overcome it, because a lot of our young people may feel that way, you know.
Hmm.
Um, I know when I me growing up, as a young girl, I had that same. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I had that same comp, uh,
Oh,
you know, being a dark complexion, and I looked a certain way, and I didn't look, like a lot of the other little girls. I was honestly growing up, I was a little tomboy, and I I definitely had a very bad self-confidence issue.
hmm,
And it took me quite some time to realize it. And once I realized it, I tried to work on myself, getting older. I want to say probably in my mid 20s. And I realized, Sheila, we come in all colors. We're beautiful. You're beautiful. Um, God made you this way for a reason, you know. And I was able to get over it and get past it. But it did take some time, and thank God we didn't live in an age. Well, I didn't come from an age where we had so much social media at that time. It wasn't,
right.
yeah, everything wasn't put out on social media. So uh it wasn't as bad as I would say someone, a lot of these young people are dealing with what they how they feel, how they look like, because we all see these models and these Instagram people, and we all
Hmm.
ourselves looking like this, and a lot of times we don't look like it.
Right.
That's a lot of
Pressure.
darkening makeup. I mean, and it is, and it's a lot of, and it's definitely a lot of pressure, But so I'm happy to see that that you were able to overcome it, and you help others to do that too. In your, I know in your film you share a message of empowerment and self acceptance, right?
Yes.
Um, can you kind of discuss the importance of embracing our unique qualities, and how it can contribute to it contributed to your growth and our own personal growth?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, I believe that we have to recognize that each individual is unique,
Mhm.
that no one is the same. And I think we are under a lot of pressure from society to be like somebody else. And so we spend a lot of our time and energy trying to be someone that we're not. And so we have to accept who we are, how we look, how we feel. That's who we are. That's what makes us up. And until we come to that point in our lives, then we'll continue to be unhappy. We continue to compare ourselves to other people. If you want to be happy, you want to, and you want to grow, and you want to be the person that God has created you to be, then you have to accept who you are. That's very, very important. Otherwise, you're gonna be living yourself. You're gonna be living a lie, or you're gonna be pretending to be someone that you're not. And so it's very important to be who you are, and you are unique. Nobody's like you.
We have to be our authentic selves.
Yes,
It's important, because even when you're around other people, if you're not, you If you're not your authentic self, how can you how can they get to know you? You know,
Exactly.
they're not knowing the real Sheila or the real Drexwell. They're learning or meeting someone who's I don't want to use the word imposter. I've been hearing that a lot today, but they're using, you're not
Mhm.
authentic. And eventually, somewhere down the line, that authentic person is going to come out. Um,
Yeah.
and we are unique. That's why we all have to fingerprints. God made us a certain way. We're all
Mhm.
unique. We're all beautiful in our own different ways. Um, how has your film been received by audiences?
It's been well received. Of course, a lot of people didn't even know that I went through that because I remember this particular elderly lady. She called me and she said she cried when she watched the film. She said, because I always projected an image of confidence.
Mhm.
And so now it opened up our eyes that sometimes we see people, we don't know what they're going through.
Right.
And so the film was well received by the young and the old. And it has impacted a lot of people. A lot of people are now changing their lives. They're accepting who they are as a result of the film. Film was it was a very powerful tool to educate and motivate people.
And that's good because it is connecting you. You're having meaningful encounters. The feedback is good, and that's
Yes.
really important. And when you hear people say that, I didn't know that you were going through that, and it's funny because most people who you would think are the most confident are the ones, that are
Mhm.
that are that are going through a lot of different types of issues and things like. But with the success of your book, Rise Up and Take Your Position, and now your film, what are your hopes for the impact that they will have on those who engage with your work?
Well, what I want to do, I mean, I I believe the world is in so much trouble, and we're in trouble because people aren't happy. And I'm hoping that I could change people's lives one at a time, impacting their lives so that they could change and so we could have a better, positive, um, productive society. So I'm hoping that I could go throughout the world, sharing my story, um, impacting and changing the lives of people because we need to change and impact the lives of people. Too many people are suffering, and as a result, some of them end up committing suicide and they die without even, fulfilling their purpose. I want to be one of those persons to be an agent of change. And I believe I'm on that road to do that. And I want to continue to do that through shows like your show.
Well, I believe that you definitely are. I mean, when people see your film and they read your book, it will resonate, because believe it or not, there are a lot of people out there that feel that way.
Yeah.
And they're just sometimes that they're afraid to um come out and talk about it, or they're
Yes.
ashamed for some reason. And I'll put myself in that category. I was like that. Um for quite a few years. Like I said, growing up, it was hard for me. Um, and I was one that was teased in school,
Yeah.
and made fun of, and so it was really difficult for me, um, growing up as a teenager, young kid and a teenager to go through those type of things. So I'm hoping that your message gets out there, it will reach a lot of people because of the fact that there are a lot of people who need help like that, who need
Yeah.
to see that there's nothing wrong with me. I can overcome this. I am beautiful. I am the way God made me.
Yes.
Um, can you tell me a little bit about your second book? I know you said you have a second book. Can you share that a little bit about that?
Sure. So as you mentioned, the first book is Rise Up and Take Your Position. And so what I realized, okay, I'm encouraging people to get up, pursue their calling, do what they're supposed to do. What I felt that I didn't do was to share with them how they can succeed once they get into that position. Because a lot of people may reach their
Hmm.
position, but they may end up failing. And so the second book is called Succeeding in Your Position. So it's a 10-step guide, um, 10 different ways in how you succeed in your position. Because we don't want to just be in your position, but you also have to be successful in what you do. So that's what the second book is about.
Okay. Um, as a CPA and managing partner of your firm, how do you balance your professional career with your passion for writing and filmmaking?
That's a good
That's a
question.
good.
You know, I somehow I find it I'm able to balance it. Of course, I work
Really?
very late until 11 o'clock at night,
Hmm.
and I'm also on dialysis,
Hmm.
and so I go to dialysis Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I go there around 5:30 a.m. I'm there for 4 hours, and so when I'm there, I just write.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, and then when I finish dialysis, I come to work and I start my work. And so I'm able to balance it. Of course, we have a family, my wife and I, we have 5 children. So we find a way of balancing it. I just set the time aside. And even if I have to bring the kids with me to work, um, I do that really, but I'm able to balance it. I just have long hours.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. I mean, if you're passionate about what you want or what you want to succeed in, you will always make time for it. I believe that.
Yeah,
I'm that type of
absolutely.
person. If I wanna, one of the things I wanted to was to succeed at this podcast, and I make time for it. I do whatever I can um to to make sure that it succeeds.
Yes.
What advice do you have for others who may be hesitant to pursue their passions outside of their established careers?
One thing I would tell the advice I would say is that time doesn't wait on anybody. And it is best. I know a lot of people are unhappy because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. It is best that they find the time to pursue what they're supposed to do because a lot of people are dying and they're burying their gifts. They're leaving their gifts behind. It's
Right.
best for you to find that time, leave a legacy, and live a life being happy because many of us are very unhappy
Mm.
because we are in the wrong positions. We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. So if you find the time to do what you want to do, then live a happy life by doing what you're supposed to do.
Mm. Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. I like that. What legacy do you hope to leave behind through your work? How do you want to be remembered as an author, a filmmaker, or an individual who advocated for empowerment and self-acceptance?
Yeah, I want to be. My legacy is just to leave as someone who inspired and who encouraged and empowered people who leave a lasting impact on the lives of people, and hopefully we could rub off on other people.
And other people.
Yes,
What are you grateful for?
you know, I am grateful for the opportunity that I was able to finally find my purpose in life.
Mhm.
Because for many years, I felt that I wasn't supposed to be in this world. I felt that I was not wanted. I just felt that I was a mistake. And so I'm grateful I'm 53 years old now. So I'm grateful that I was finally able to realize my purpose in life. I'm grateful for other things as well, but that's the most grateful thing I am for. Of course, I'm grateful for my wife and my children, our children. But the most grateful thing is knowing my purpose.
Okay. See, now you said something that I wanna talk to you about. Why did you feel you you didn't belong here or weren't supposed to be here?
Because I felt insignificant. I felt inferior, and so as a result, I felt that was a mistake because I didn't feel loved by people. I was tired of people calling me, you know, ugly and dark skinned. And so I thought, this can't be. I must have been a mistake. And so, and that's all my life I've been hearing that. And so that's why I felt that I wasn't supposed to exist because I didn't feel loved or accepted by society.
Wow. Well, I'm going to say this. I thank you for your film, your book, and you are supposed to be here for this exact moment, for the things that you're doing and shedding light on this issue, because there are, again, a lot of people who do go through this. And to see someone as yourself to be successful and to know that you were able to come through this and now you're helping others, that's what you're here. And
You're
I
right.
appreciate you, Mr. Drexwell Seymour. I appreciate everything that you do, and I pray that you continue on the road that you're doing. And I thank you for stopping by Sheila's Take today. And I want my listeners, my audience to make sure you go out and you get Drexwell's first book, Rise Up and Take Your Position. See his short film, Rise Up, No One is Better Than You, and then get his second book, which is Succeeding in Your Position,
Yes.
because this is a man that really, he's talking some good truth here, and he needs to be heard. Drexel, do you have a website that my listeners can go to also?
Yes, I do have a website on www.drexwellseymour.com.
Okay. So it's www.drexwellseymour.com. Please
Yeah.
make sure you stop by. And I think you can actually get his book on the website, right? The book's on the
No,
website.
it will link you to the book. You get the book on Amazon.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, again, I thank you for being a guest on Sheila's Take, and I
Thank you
wish
for the
you the
opportunity.
best.
Thank you, Sheila, for this opportunity, allowing me to share my story with you and your audience.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Join me next time where I will continue to discuss more of today's issues. I'm your host, Sheila Dunbar. Blessings to you.